All right, welcome to NFL Draft Evaluation Analysis for the 2025 draft class of the Tennessee Titans. So this is going to be pick 82 of the third round. They acquired the pick from the Seahawks, I believe. And I guess I have to go through my spiel of starting every video as if this is the first time someone sees it. So with that being said, I've done pick 52 from the second round, and then obviously pick number one. So what I'll do here is this is a series where I'll go over all of the Tennessee Titans selections and just give my opinion about the process, the good, the bad, the ugly, and then stay tuned for the series of what I would do, basically sharing what I would do with my allotted draft picks when the Titans were going live, how the direction that I would go. But for now, we're talking about what the Tennessee Titans did, and they took safety Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State. He's a player that when I watched him, this guy is incredibly violent. Every time he flashed on the screen, he's making a play. He's squeezing vice grip, squeezing the offensive player, the ball carrier, and getting him to the ground by any means necessary. He's an excellent click and close player. Excuse me. He had an injury last year, a knee injury where he came back within 6 months, ran his 40, and he ran a 4.51. So it could be well assumed that he's probably faster than that. So he's an athlete. He has excellent length. I think he has like an 80 to 82-inch wingspan, something like that. Um, and he covers with pure effort. His game is based off of pure effort. His ball skills need some improvement, and we'll get there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the ugly part about his game. But for right now, I definitely understand the Titans how he could have been stacked on their board because I think he was my safety four. So when you're at pick 82 and safety four is still there, it just depends on how you really view the player, how you're evaluating things from the top down, from the personality, which he's awesome. That is a theme of the Tennessee Titans this year. All of their picks have awesome, incredible intangibles, incredible personalities, and Kevin Winston Jr. is there's nothing different about him. He's in terms of what I just said. He has an incredible personality. I mean, just work ethic. They definitely knocked it out the park with in terms of intangibles. Um, he's a mature, high effort, high energy, tough, click and close. I've already said that. Elite length. Every play is violent. He wraps up in fights. He's a sure tackler. Um, I think he would be an excellent special team ace. Um, so some of the bad about him, I would say, is coverage ID and actually having to cover people. I think he we're gonna get back to this movement skills. The same thing we talked about Cam Ward is I think he has thin lowers. He has clunky movement skills. He has a chaotic hip to knee to ankle relationship. So I know this is getting a little different because everybody's talking about Kevin Winston Jr., such value, and they're talking about the things that most evaluators talk about. But this is where I separate myself along with my accountability, along with my high hit rate, along with other proof of concept and social proof that people love to talk about, but well don't talk about when it comes to me, but talk about when it comes to everybody else. But this is something that I bring to the table as well, is just looking at how a player is built, proportion. No 6'2", 215 player is built the same. There's different proportions, and there's different ways in how they move. And there's something called inside ankle bone high, inside ankle bone low. His inside ankle bone is low. He moves in a almost like an AI crossover move. His knee is always inverted. He's almost built that way. You look at players that slew footed. He moves in a very clunky way. His hip to knee to ankle relationship is poor, and he has thin lower. So I don't know the play that he hurt himself on, because I think it was a practice play, and then I think it eventually torn, or they might have tore the knee ligament while trying to do surgery. Whatever may be the case, I'm not a fan of how Kevin Winston Jr. moves, right? Not from the sense of his click and close and his speed and being there in a hurry. I mean how he puts foot to ground. It's very clunky. It's very hard. It's very like obviously it's aggressive, but it's a very unorthodox movement pattern. And based off of my years of evaluation, players like that usually have knee injuries. And this isn't me, oh, he already had a knee injury, so you're just betting on it happening again. No, I don't bet on anybody to get injured. This is I don't find joy in being, predicting or trying to predict injuries. In fact, I don't try to play doctor, but the movement skills, I put it in my quarter bucket, as I like to call it. Things like athletic testing and stuff like that is only, a fourth of my evaluation. And I really don't try to put too much, onus on it. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I've evaluated. When you've been doing something for a decade plus, it's just something that you pick up on. Now, tying it back to his role, I think that he is a strong safety. I think he can play in the box. I think on this team, if it were me, he will start off as a reserve, as a strong safety 3 or 4. He'd be a special team ace, and I'll keep him as a dynamic linear athlete, meaning not much change of direction, especially this first year back from injury, as a special team ace, as a gunner, as a kickoff guy, and L2, L3, L1, whatever, covering. And then he'd be not necessarily the first guy up if someone goes down at the strong safety position, but maybe the next guy after that. Other than that, I mean, just an incredibly physical player. The ceiling, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about NFL comps to wrap it up, but he's a player that the public loves with the value, because based off of analytics, based off of the tape, you see an amazing player that without the injury, he probably goes in the first round or early second. And if he enters the draft last year, if I'm not mistaken, that safety class, he probably goes pretty high in that one as well. But that's why you watch the tape. That's why people have differing opinions. My opinion is something that I have not heard anyone say yet, because it comes personally from my experience. Great player, but buyer beware in terms of his availability. But if he stays clean, you're going to get a player that's going to be in the box, and he's going to be aggressive as heck. So let's just play the game of if it doesn't happen, like we did with Cam Ward. If it doesn't happen, you got a player that's going to be in the box. And here's my comps. This is a perfect segue. So with all the picks, I'm doing something new, adding a floor NFL player comp, a middle if I have one, and then a ceiling. For Kevin Winston Jr., I had Wanye Thomas as his floor. He's a safety with the Dallas Cowboys, who's an up-and-coming player, really athletic box player right now. And that's just where he is. It's not a knock against Wanye. He's still growing. But very similar athletically, just an up-and-coming player that plays hard and is a box player. The middle player that I had was Tracy Walker, who's been able to create a decent career out of Louisiana Lafayette, was on the Lions, had some production, has had injuries recently. And then his ceiling is Deshaun Elliott, a player that started in the league with some injuries, but over the past 2-3 years, he's definitely created a role for himself as an enforcer who can make plays on the back end as well, but an incredibly instinctive downhill player that will knock you into next week. And I think that's what Kevin Winston Jr. can do if healthy. I think that's the type of player that he is. We don't wish injury on anybody. This is just my opinion on how he moves. But other than that, the Titans, if all is well, at pick 82, they got my fourth best safety in this draft class.